morning, students. Today we're studying a little bit in the Bible about how humans are different from animals. So evolution tells us we all came from animals. So what is the difference between a human and an animal? That's the question today. And so the Bible says that the humans we were made in the image of God. And we're going to try to figure out what that means. One of the things we have written in the Bible is that God has given us a conscience. Now there's two things that God gives everybody in the whole world. It says that He has written something of His law on everybody's heart. Now what does that mean? Well, when you think of God's law, sometimes maybe the Ten Commandments. Okay, so everywhere in the world that we go, people understand right from wrong. Everybody knows it's wrong to steal from one another. We all know it's wrong to kill each other. Why do we know that? We know it's wrong to lie, to gossip. Why do we know these things are wrong? Because the Bible says that God has written something of His law into everybody's heart. In addition to that, He gave everybody a second thing, a conscience. Now the conscience in the Bible is something that works with God's law. The conscience tells us if we do something right, it tells us we did something right. If we do something wrong, we feel guilty we did something wrong. That's your conscience. So the Bible says we are created in the image of God, and animals are not created in the image of God. So what's the difference? Especially if we believe in evolution, we all came from animals. Well, what's the difference between a human and an animal? Well, you might say we have more intelligence, but it's a lot greater than that. Because a chimpanzee has more intelligence than a dog. We're not disputing intelligence. We're talking about how has God created you different from the animals? All right, that's what we're talking about today. What does it mean that God created us in the image of God? What does that mean? How are you different from an animal? That's the question today. And so we're answering that initially by saying, well, God gave everybody a conscience. You know, when the lion attacks somebody and bites their head off, well, we don't accuse the lion and bring him to court and try him for murder, because the lion is only acting on instinct. Animals act on instinct. They don't act on any kind of morality about right and wrong. So humans are different from animals because God gave us a conscience. God gave you a conscience, young lady. You can understand right from wrong. How is it that you can do that?